Hi, this is Kathy Jacoby from Tangled Moon's Etsy shop, and you have received an explosion box made out of watercolor paper. This is great for tangling. This is great for drawing on, doing watercolor, mixed media, anything. So I hope you will enjoy it. I'm going to show you now how to put this thing together. You have 5 pieces. The largest piece, which is on the bottom, is your base. If you'll notice, these come with score lines going this way, down, and in the corners here. The corners we do last. These are pre-scored for you. All you have to do is follow the score lines and put them together. So what I'm going to do is turn it over. I'm going to fold with the score line. You can use a bone folder or a scoring tool if you want to make this a little sharper. I just tend to use my hands because I want this to still have some spring to it, and I don't want it totally flat yet. So I go along all 4 corners and I fold along the score lines. Now, what we have is the box folded up in kind of a T shape. You still have the corners. We're going to fold the corners now. What I want to do is have this side coming here to lay down against the one that's at a 90-degree angle from it. This is kind of similar to origami, if some of you have done that. We're going to bend this one forward, and I push in from the corner and down. Let me lift this up so you can see what's going on. This side now is going to be flush in like for a regular box. The inner corner is going to come together, and what I would do, and down on the table, I'm holding it up so you can see it, is run my finger or my scoring tool along this inner line here to make it make it flat. So when the box is folded up, these will come to the inside. So for each corner, I'm going to do the same thing. This side is going to lay flat against and match up with this side. So I bring this down. You can pull this one back out to help you. I bring it over and then back down. So then push along here. You have 2 corners now. I'll go ahead through the other 2 with you. Pull this side down. This is scored in the corner, so it's going to bend in for you. Let it bend, and it should just naturally come together, one side against the other. Push on that line, smooth it out, and we have 1 more corner, and you're almost through with your base. Again, I'll pull in from this side and kind of push from the outside and bottom part of the circle and pull back with this top part, and that's going to bring your side down. Do it gently. Don't do it too fast. If you don't feel like it's meshing up quite right, stop, redo it until you're happy with it. Okay? So there we have our base, and this is going to sit on the outside. Now, the 3 inner layers are all the same except they're staggered in sizes. So we start with the largest one. This has score lines all around the middle, and this should match up with the inside of your base. So I just fold again along the score lines for each side. For these, this is all you have to do. Okay, now this first largest side, inner layer rather, is done. This comes and it fits right inside your base. We go to the middle layer, and if you'll notice, some of these are scored on one side or the other. I did quite a few of these, so it was kind of hard to keep track of which was going in first. It doesn't matter which way you fold it. If you are somebody who wants to fold against the score line, and some people swear by that, come in and fold the other way. One side of the watercolor paper is a little toothier than the other, so if that's what you want to mainly tangle on and you want to show that more, then you would fold in so that that is going to be exposed. It's entirely up to you. It's your box. You can actually tangle on one side and the other. You can tangle the entire thing. The other reason we did not go ahead and assemble these for you is most people that I sell these to want to do their tangling first or their decorating and then glue it together. That makes it a whole lot easier, so I would certainly suggest you do that. Now we have 2 layers, one more to go. This is the smaller one, and again we just fold into the middle along the score line, and your box on the inside is done. You can arrange these. When you get ready to glue these together, they get glued along the bottom. So you'd start, take your top 2 layers out. You're going to put glue. You can use Eileen's tacky glue. I like this for the lids, actually. I prefer using something like your Tombow glue runner. I like the dots myself. It's less messy to me. You could also use the other ones. I can't think of the pink ones that are out there, work well too. Just run it along the bottom square, not these parts. Don't do these parts because you don't want to glue the sides together. Then you're going to, once you get the glue here, line it back up, even it out, and then just press in the middle to get it together. And each subsequent layer you do the same thing. You would glue under here. This is already in place. Line it up, get your corners just so, press it into the middle, and the same with the last layer, and then your box itself is done. This is your lid. Your lid has quite a few little score lines. The smallest little tabs that are scored are going to be inside your box. So go ahead and decide what you want, which side you want on the outside of your box showing. So that one, this is the toothier side. I like it because it's more textured. I'm going to let that be on the outside. So I would fold into the middle here, and I turn it on each side. Fold those lines. I fold the tabs as well. This is pre-folded, so it's going pretty easily. For each one, you can even turn it in and fold it. Last one. Now, what you're going to want to do, this is how I set mine up to go ahead and do it. The glue's not going to dry that fast. I like to go ahead and do each corner at the same time. That way I'm not gluing this one, attaching it, and then getting over here and trying to work that in. That becomes a little awkward. So again, as small as these are, the glue runner will work on these. I don't really want to glue that. You're just going to run it along that and here. If it doesn't feel like it's holding, you can use some white glue. I like the Eileen's quick dry tacky glue. Dries very fast. I have my clothespins on hand to do these with. So what I would do is run it just a little bit. You don't want a lot of this because it can get soggy and then show some bumps under here, and you don't want that. Just a really thin coat on each one of these. Then you're going to start pulling the sides up. You can see how the little tab fits right in the middle. Glue it, and I would clothespin it for just a minute. Put it on the inside. Make sure your edges are flush the way you want them. You can work with them too, even if the clothespin's on there. Go ahead and put all of them in. Get them where you want them. This is a little hard since it's not glued. Yeah. Now, and that one works out. So when you finish, these should all be glued in. Set it aside. And let it dry. Once it is dry, you should be able to, let me find another lid that's already done, and I'll show you how to fit that on. This should be the same size as yours. So I hold it on the outside, push in on the corners, pull it all together. You may need to put it up against something. Pull your lid around the top, and there's your box all assembled for you. The reason it's called an explosion box is because when you lift the lid, everything falls out. Right now it's pretty stiff because I just put it together, and this is very heavy cardstock, or watercolor paper rather. But a lot of people also like to glue pictures, photographs, recipes, whatever, stubs from movies maybe that meant something to them, all kinds of memorabilia. The more you put in here, the heavier it's going to weigh down. So eventually it will fall a little flatter for you. If you feel like it's getting too flat, you can always go back and just try to fold it up again. Let it sit inside. This is the way your box is going to look from the inside with your corners. So if you're planning on putting something to stand on the inside, you might consider these corners. If they're in your way, you can trim them back a little bit too, or you can make them a part of your box. So that's it, and I hope you enjoy the box. We sell all kinds on Tangled Moons on Etsy. We're always coming up with new ones, and a lot of times the suggestions come from my customers who request special orders. I love those. So check us out on Tangled Moons, and if I can be of further service, let me know. If these directions aren't clear, please feel free to email me at tangledmoons2@gmail.com with any of your questions. I do wholesale, so if you find you like these and you would like to try these with a class, email me and get a wholesale price list. I'll be glad to work with you. Enjoy!